Hello, hackers. Sup? How are you, folks? Give me a minute so that I can share the link in WhatsApp so that I will be back in a moment. Yep, done. Let's wait for 2 or 3 more minutes and let's get started. Yeah, in the meantime, can you folks just show some excitement in the chat? I think we have Ishwar here. Hey, hi, Ishwar. How is your day? Hmm, nice. Oh, we have like few viewers already here. Hello, folks. So maybe you can drop your name or where are you from or something like that. So we can have some little introduction. I'm just using my mobile. Cool. Hi, Sreja. Hey, Ratnakar. Hi. How are you? I think we can get started now. Yeah. Give me a second. I will go live on Instagram as well. Yeah. Done, done, done. Let's go. Let's go. Uh, yeah. Hello, Venkata. It's nice to be here in this exciting journey. I hope you will be learning or you learned something amazing and yeah, implement that in projects or in your day-to-day life. Yep. Yeah. Let's get started. So first of all, today we are having like intro to APIs, also known as API 101 using Postman. So if you are a Pokemon fan, then you might get this. So instead of catching Pokemons, we'll gonna fetch APIs today. Hmm. So I'm Ashish Malla from SNIST College, also lead at Hyderabad. Currently, Postman student expert and leader for our college. And yeah, that is my link tree. Like you can just hit me a follow or something. And famously known as I am Poker 145B. Yeah. Mm. So, what is our agenda for the day? So, first of all, we are going to discuss about APIs and Postman. Like, of course, like this session is about APIs, right? And then we will go deep into the not deep but shallow level into the APIs, how we can understand APIs better, or what are their functionalities and all that stuff. And then, of course, we will be followed up with a hands-on session. Like it will be like workshop, and where you will be testing APIs from like real world and see the output and understand what's happening over there. And then I will give you some resources where you can learn more about APIs or Postman, and also, yeah, something more. And yeah, you folks can drop question and answers anytime. Like you can literally just drop right now, or you can store it for later and then drop it. Yeah. Hmm. Let me take the sticker. Yeah. Hmm. So APIs. Uh, have you folks like ever like? I'm sure that you folks might have visited some restaurants or hotels, anything where you want to order some food, and then you want to tell someone from the restaurant management that you want this so and so item, and what is the cost of it, and how much time it will take for it to be prepared. And then you will call a waiter, for example, and then the waiter will not take the order, and then will go to the chef or anyone, and then tell this guy or this table number XYZ is ordering so biryani or chicken biryani stuff, and we want to get it done. That's how a restaurant works. So in the real world as well, APIs work the same way. For example, like you are a person, you want some information from somewhere, like okay, I want this biryani ingredients. What is this biryani made up of? And then you request for someone to get the details. And then that someone will check the dictionary or cookbook and then give you the information. So this is how computers or like computers also communicate in different ways, like WebSockets and all, but it has the same ideology. So whenever you are communicating in real world or digitally, you will be requesting for something or for some resources, and then the middleware will communicate with the person who can grant you the information, and then it will get back to you. So yeah. So first of all, you make some request. The API will take the request and ask it to server. Mr. Server, is this available with us? And then it will get back to us with the output or response that they have given. Hmm. So you might ask, okay, Ashish, you are explaining this with analogy, like restaurant analogy, but I want to know, like, technically what an API is. So API stands for Application Programming Interface, which allows computers and services like microservices and apps to communicate with each other so that the data can be transferred in between. Software, like if you see, software has become like more complex. Like for example, you are building some sort of application for your startup or for your company, and it keeps on like increasing like the workload and everything, and it becomes much more complex the time it grows well. Okay, so the software right now is so complex that you can't entirely build everything on your own, because it's a big task and you don't have time for building everything. You need to invest the time for making it better instead of building it. And all along with that, software has become collaborative over the years. Give me a second. Yeah, well, what I mean by making it collaborative over the years, so everything become open source. For example, like not everything, but some things have open source alternatives where you can trust them. And many companies use open source tools in their websites or applications as well. So collaborative over the years not only means open source, but for example, I have a company A and you have a company B, and we think you might like I might need your service for my company because you do that stuff great and I don't do the stuff great and I don't have time to build it. So I can outsource the work to you so that we will give me the raw materials for me, which can be cheaper from your side instead of making them entirely on my own. So yeah, for example, like Foxconn from US, like the one who manufactures Apple phones and devices, mostly in China and Southeast Asia, outsourced their manufacturing thing to China and other countries in East Asia. Likewise, you can also collaborate with other people who can make that service better than you. Yeah, API not only does this, but API allows developers to access data from services. So, for example, like you might have used Google, or for example, right now you are using YouTube or Twitch as well, which is like I'm a developer and I'm streaming here, but I don't know, like I am not directly coming into a mobile, but instead I'm connecting this somewhere, and this is done via some API, like some security, and you will have some access to it, so that only you can stream by using your account, and your audience will receive the output that you are generating, right? So yeah, API allows developers to access data from services. Did we miss something? Um, I will just share the thing. Yes. Is it a yes or no? Can someone confirm me that you can see me or not? Or are there any issues in the stream? Hmm. Check. Any lag? Okay. So it's good now, I guess. Okay, let's continue. So, for example, most of you folks might be using ChatGPT or Gemini and more AI services like which can help you make your things better. Like, for example, drafting emails or writing code or anything. So, are they giving you the access to their entire code base? No, right? So they have worked so hard to develop some software like that so that you can use it. So they can't easily give you the access to their code base, which you can use and make better services than them. Right? But they want you folks to use it for like, maybe for their use case as well, or you can also use it for your own good. So what can be done here? So what people do is like they provide API services like they and don't entirely show you their code base, but they give access to you to use their service. So whenever you ask some question like, do you mango has more calories or apple has more calories? For example, if you ask that to ChatGPT, it won't show you inner work like the vector database that it's following and everything. I Rohit. So in that case, what you will be doing is you can like just give access to not access to the thing, but can do something like black box testing where the user will only know the input output, but not the character. Is it still buffering, Rohit? I'm really sorry, folks. Good. Now, folks. I guess it's good now. Good. Cool. Let's continue. So when using these services like OpenAI services or Gemini, they won't give you access to their entire code base, but they provide you an instance to use their service. So you can ask them question and then they will give the answer. That's it. So basically a black box session where you only know the input and output, but not the inner mechanism. So this is how APIs can also help. The same way, like for example, you are googling for something, and then you don't know like how page ranking and everything works over there, but still you get out. So it helps developers to give access to the service instead of giving access to the code base. Yeah, sorry for repeating this again and again due to the internet connection. Hmm. So you might think that okay, APIs are for developers, but as a user, I won't be using it like indirectly, right? You are completely wrong. For example, right now you are watching the stream via YouTube or Twitter. Sorry, not Twitter, but Twitch and Instagram, for example. So maybe let's take the example of Instagram. So I guess it's good now. Okay. Yeah, let's go again. So, for example, you might be using Instagram and you want to share a story with your friends where you want to take like a photo from Charmin, for example, and then want to say, okay, this tea here is amazing and I love it. So, first of all, what you will be doing is opening Instagram app, of course, and then click on this, for example, uploading the story, and then it will open camera. So, how is it communicating with camera? So for this, it has hardware level API where it will be asking like, camera, I want to use you. Can you give me access to use you? And then it will give the Instagram application access to you. Then you can see yourself in the Instagram, and now you want to take a picture, and you click on a picture, it will be saved in Instagram servers or in your mobile application itself. So how is it done? So here you will be doing like, okay, I want to save this in data. For example, Instagram is using AWS Cloud, for example. Then the image will be stored in AWS Cloud using an API. After that, you want to add some text. So it will be updated again. And maybe if you are like a very goofy person like me, like you want to add a GIF or GIF to your Instagram story, then you will use GIF service and then get a GIF over there so that you can post. And then once you click on send, the data will be communicated with Instagram servers, and then according to that, your friends can see. And how is it done? So their applications as well look for like any new feed is coming to our account or not, and then using this API, you will get the thing. Hmm. Yeah. Again, this is ping check. Hmm. I guess it's good. So if you're wondering, like, okay, APIs are like for these big tools, but not for like small tools that we develop. So if you see, like, there is API for literally everything in this world. For example, there is a cat API, and if you don't like cats, you can also use dog API and a Pokemon API as well. And many of the applications that we use for weather thing use Open Weather Map API to get the weather of particular location. Even Discord, like which is one of my favorite texting applications, use APIs to communicate, and Spotify, Twitter, Facebook, Google, and other services use APIs as well. Hmm. Yeah. So APIs literally turn every software into Lego bricks. For example, let's take this. So you're using a like advanced AI tool where you can like that don't need any captain or pilot to drive an aeroplane, and that only needs a computer system to it. But the hardware and everything it will be using is belongs to the fighter jet, for example. Assume that this is a fighter jet, and this is the advanced AI system that you have built. So, by the way, this is Lego, so that's why we can integrate things easily the same way API does. So you have done your application or the advanced system and you want to integrate with the fighter jet. So you will simply add like this. Give me a second to integrate it properly. So yeah, now using the hardware API, like hardware services of this fighter jet, you integrated your advanced AI system, and then you can start using this system to automate your like plane or fighter jet to attack enemy country, for example. Yeah. So APIs literally turn everything into a Lego bricks model. This is one such example. For example, you are making a project in a hackathon where you want to integrate better. You want to like you want to create a application where it not only suggests songs based on their recommendations, but depending upon the nature they are at. So as we discussed, they are using Open Weather API to get the API like better details of that location, particular location, and then Spotify for the song recommendations and songs. So it will combine both of them, and then maybe they have built some AI model that they built themselves and want to use it as a service. So they can also use the AI model. Okay, these are the songs that this person is interested in, and this is the weather over there. So suggest some songs based upon the weather used in this list. And then the AI tool will return some data, and your application will fetch the data from Spotify again, give you songs. I think I got a notification. Um, so yeah, this is how you can do that stuff. APS literally. Hmm. So Ashish was saying like introduction to APIs using Postman, but you haven't told us like what is Postman and all that. So now let's discuss about Postman. So Postman is an API platform for building and using APIs. Yeah, Postman simplifies each step in API's lifecycle way. It streamlines collaboration, like makes API faster, like testing APIs faster. It helps you in designing, testing, mocking, monitoring, documenting, and discovering new APIs. Or maybe you can build some APIs and you want to test. So it a one-stop platform to use APIs and to make better APIs. So it has CI/CD in it and as well. Let's go to the next slide. So Postman is used by like 98% of the companies in like Fortune 500, like the top 500 companies in the world according to stock market. 65% of the global organizations, like literally every software company, if you take, uses Postman for their testing and all that stuff. So you may say, okay, but did APIs come first or Postman come first? So yeah, APIs came first before Postman existed. So back then we used it to access APIs or get a data from APIs using terminal. But right now we are using Postman too. We can use the line interface. Postman gives you better output and better visualization. So yeah, up until now we just talked in layman terms. Now let's and in requests and responses. So request, like you want something and you are requesting for something, and response is like you are getting a response from it. Hmm. Yeah. So yeah, this is the same analogy that we discussed previously. So client will be asking the server or using APIs to the server that they want some resource or some data, and then the server will communicate back to the client using the API. It will give a response. So making request. So there are like a lot. Are we good now? I guess. Yeah, let's get back to the session. So yeah, there are like many types of requests that you can make with server. Like there are get request, put, patch, delete, and lot more types of requests. So whenever you are using APIs or making use of APIs, there are three important things that are involved. One is the type of method that you are using. The other is like from where you are requesting. So for example, right now, like we want to use Google service or anything, right? And also on the server, which part are we requesting from? So these three are the important things: request methods and endpoints. Like these are the minimum requirements, and on top of that, you can like for sophisticated requests, you can use more. So let's see. So if Mhm. This looks like a. You might have seen similar interface like where in a browser, right? Whenever you are entering. Hello, hello. I think we are good now. I just switched my internet. Yeah. So we have like this similar kind of interface in a browser. But whereas in all available, get, post, attach, and everything. Am I audible now? Neda? Hello, hello. Are we good now? Hello. I will just continue this. Yeah. So, what are the things that we require? Well, like when we want to access specific thing or to be specific, so the things that we require are like parameters, like what kind of thing that you are specific. For example, if you are looking for Ashish details, you will specify name equal to Ashish, right? The same way you can ask for certain details from an API using parameters, using the query, of course. So authorization, not everyone should be given access. For example, Srinidhi data shouldn't be accessed from maybe IIT Kharagpur, for example. And also headers and body. Like in headers and body, you will mention specific details that okay, this is happening, and I'm from using this device, and I want this kind of details. So yeah, according to the device, also APIs give response, but it's kind of advanced topic. Now next, request and body. So you won't be using any body like in get request, because a get request simply gets the data from the server, but it not only use a service for like asking it, right? So for sometimes you need to add some details, right? Maybe like um, you want to add like new student joined in our college, and you want to add their data to the server, and then you use something like post request, or maybe like if there is a student whose details are wrong, completely wrong in the database, then what will you be doing? Uh, can I expect the answer? So yeah, we will update their data, right? So using put or patch method, we can do that. And for example, a student wants to like, drop out and do some business, so we need to delete that data. These are different kinds of requests that you can do, and you use body details. Like you want to heavily send a payload or data to the server, then you use put or post request. So yeah, the data types that you can use like form data, JSON, which is JavaScript object notation, text, HTML, external markup language, files, GraphQL, and many more. So in the right side, we are having like JSON example, having name, email, birth year. Beluga Mawa, Mawa at the rate, and 2003 is the born year of the person. Hmm. So, okay, right now you saw like sending request, but okay, after sending the request, what you are expecting, right? You will be expecting a response from the server. So, yeah, a response has like multiple elements in it, and one of them is status code. Like for example, you requested for something from the server, and it has the data, so it will like send you okay, we had a data kind of signal. So that kind of things that okay, this is good kind of requests are grouped under 200 status code, like 200 range. And after that, maybe if the server didn't find something like that, then it will give you some errors. One such example is 404 not found error, which I have a cute badge here, 404. And maybe like if the server like there is some issue with the server, then it will give you like 500 series status code. Likewise, you need headers for sending specific details that are to be communicated with the server. And then once you get the response, Even in the response, you will get headers as well from the server, and you need to access the body data, what it has sent, what are the details that you receive. So you need to see that. So this is like picture from the client side and the server side as well. Hmm. Okay. So up until now, we have seen like, okay, what is API, what, where APIs are used, and how APIs can do better job in our life, right? But now the workshop part begins. So we will be entering into a hands-on session of the session right now. So yeah, everyone head over to this link. I will just keep it uh, here, like in the chart. Give me a second to copy paste. Hmm. If you folks can tell me, like, have you folks clicked on the URL or not yet? Let me know. In the meantime, I will also share that thing. Okay, cool. I'll stop sharing my slides. We have spam here. Let me take this. Yeah. Can you folks see my screen? I guess. Yeah, you folks can see my screen. So we might have used Git or GitHub in your life, or else we conduct a session on Git and GitHub. You can also watch it in LHW series in our YouTube channel. So yeah, fork is a type of thing where you get a copy of something that you can work on your own instead of directly changing on their website or like on their repository or code base. So this is a API, like a document or repository that we are going to work today. So first of all, you folks need to fork this. Click on fork. So I'm gonna local hack week fork my workspace. Yes, like if your account is not public, do make it public. It's just one click away. You can see that over here. But I already have an account, so I can't do that. So once you've done that, click on fork collection. Cool. So yeah, this is the fork that we are going to work today. Hmm. According to you, what's the most famous or most used website in the world apart from the web? I mean, okay, whatever. If you think that I'm looking somewhere else, I'm just looking at another screen over here. So yeah, don't worry. I'm watching you folks. So yeah. So the most used website in the world according to me is of course Google.com. So we just sent a request to Google using the Postman. So first of all, you need to select a get and then enter the URL and send. Click on send. That's it. So once you do that, Google will return you like this data. But this is all gibberish for us. Only like browsers can understand. So you might want to see like how it looks. So in Postman, there is an option to look at preview. It will just convert the code into the website. Epic files. Okay, so you need to download this agent so that the computer won't block you. I just forgot to do it in this system. Usually I use different Linux environment. In the meantime, I hope you folks can fork the repository and do the same stuff as me. Yeah, done. Downloaded. Let's install it. I'll just try to install this. Yeah, now it's working again. Just install it. So yeah, the Google will give you the data. You can view it like with pretty option so that you will see the like the tags separated or else not. So today we are going to use the documentation that these Postman people have provided to us. So here you can see like it has given the Google has given us the 200 OK requests. So yeah. Hmm. Preview taking so much time to load. So yeah, it loaded the Google preview button. So before that, I have told you like parameters are something that we need to take care of. To mention specific thing. So what you folks use Google for? You folks use it for like querying some data, right? So maybe, for example, we are having a doubt like what is Trinity? Maybe. So I'm gonna Google up SNIST. So when you add the Q and SNIST parameter, it's showing like okay, it will automatically add it as a parameter. Question mark Q SNI equal to SNIST. So let's click on send. It will give us some data. And if you see, we can see the SNIST thing on here. But are we really querying this? No, we aren't. So how do we query SNIST? So we just Google it like this and then we get it. So if you see the how the URL looks, we have like this slash search before the query parameter. So what is slash search? It's a part that we are requesting for. So Google uses slash search option to give you the data. So we need to place search option here so that we can get the data that we are waiting for. And this is why you should read the documentation of anything. So when we make this request, it literally giving us the same Google result that we did here, and we can see the data. So like this, the browser works. And but here we only use it as an as the query parameter. But when we look it up in Google, it has a lot of data that we can't understand, right? So Postman also makes it easier to understand it. So you need to paste the URL here and click on send. So it gives the same output as Google gave us, but here you can see like what keys are being used. We use a Q as SNAST, OQ like other query using SNAST, and these are the data that Google is asking for us. And I don't know this, but UTF-8 is a text encoding thing. So yeah, along with this, Google is also sending like our browser is sending some headers files. So one is Postman user agent, like what user, like what kind of computer is requesting for the data. So one is Postman runtime and accepted encodings, gzip and all that. And connection, we want to keep it alive even after it ends. Yeah. So okay, we understood how Google is using APIs, but now we want to see something, right? So yeah, in Postman, you have an option to see the documentation. You need to click on these three dots and click on documentation, view documentation, and it's over here. Once you click it, you get the access to the documentation page of the APIs that we are talking about. So for today's session, we are having like three kinds of jokes. Like not jokes, but three kind of APIs that we can use. And this is the URL for our application today. So instead of using this Google thing, let's use this and let's click on send. So we are getting this response called hello world. Let's try this the same URL in the browser and let's see what it's giving us. So it's giving hello world to us. That's cool, right? But requesting for the URL is not enough. So if you see documentation over here that we got by clicking the three dots, it's saying that we can request for jokes or books or quotes. So we have three options. I want you folks to drop which of the like thing that you want to experiment with: joke, quote, or books. What? Sorry, Ishwar. Like, what kind of error message are you getting? Denied message means. Can you share me the screenshot via Discord? Maybe. I see the spirit bank up. Even I would love to take see jokes. So yeah, if no one else has like, any other interest, we can move ahead with jokes APIs. So let's wait for like 20 seconds, 20 seconds. I'm waiting for Ishwar's message because he told that he's getting some denied messages. Uh, Ishwar, I guess you have my Discord ID, so we can drop it over there. I will try to resolve the issue. So during the start of the session, I have okay, Devashish, jobs or books. Okay. So I guess like we have a lot of people that are interested in jokes. So let's go ahead with jokes. So yeah, I will just move to jokes and what is the type of request. So first thing we want to experiment with jokes. The joke part, right? So what is the URL for joke? So the URL for joke is slash joke. So we will be adding it to the URL here. Joke. I'm sending this joke as a request. And now we are getting this data as ID equal to 5, author Ali Mustafa, bugs are futures, which is not a joke, but of course it's true. And this is the source of the joke. Let me try sending this again. But this time we are getting totally different joke. Like who is a programmer? A programmer is a machine who turns coffee into code. And this is the source. Where are we getting different joke when we are clicking? Because the black box program behind the API is made like that. So that is why we are getting different joke every time that we are requesting. If you folks remember, the previous joke has the idea of file. So in the documentation, they told us we can request for specific joke by mentioning the joke number or idea of the joke. So we can try like, for example, the joke which we saw is like 5, right? So I'm clicking on 5 and then hitting enter. So it's giving me like the new ID like Ali Mustafa, the features and this and this. Now I will experiment with 3. This is giving us the new joke, like the joke that we got. But manually typing this one parameter is easy, but when it becomes like really hectic when you build some complex projects, so you can use part parameters in Postman where you need to mention ID, and then instead of entering the number over there, you can enter number 3 here, and you get the same output as you got before. So this is how you can use parameter. And there are some things like known as variables. Like for example, you don't want to use this same URL again and again, and you want to make a your repository node that this is the same URL that I have been using. So you can use variables for that. But for now, I will just keep it like this because it's easier to follow around. So we just made a request. By the way, if you folks are wondering, like I also made like we also have a basic UI where we can see the jokes that are here. And in this session, we are going to add some jokes to it as well. Are you folks good? Like getting any error or are we going good? I don't see any comments. Think we are good. So yeah, let's go to documentation again. So this is telling us we can also make a post request. So post request, what is a post request? So instead of requesting for something, you are giving the data to the server so that it can do something with it. So I'm just going to duplicate this. Did someone send me this? No. Mhm. Yeah, I'm going to clone this like thing. So you can duplicate it using Control D or manually clicking. And in Postman, you can also rename the URL. request. For example, post data is the thing that I want to call it, and then the URL is same thing, and I'm setting it up as a variable base URL and selecting the scope as for this collection. Okay, that's good. Let me hit send. So we are getting get request, but we want to do like post. So we are sending, making it post and also mentioning the part where it happened. We want it to go. So when we click on post, what it's giving us some error. What is that error saying? Let's try to understand. So it's getting an error and can't post joke, cannot post joke. Why? Because you haven't told our server what joke you want to post, right? So this is why we are getting 404 not found error because it can't do it. No errors here. Cool. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah. So what can we do to solve this? So we can ask for the documentation what we can do. Let's go to documentation and see. So the documentation is saying that we can like do this to send a new job base URL. Yeah, you can copy this and set it in body. So if you folks remember, we previously discussed how we can add some data to it. So we can add some data to the server by sending it a body. So the body which we are going to use today is raw, but there are other options as well. So most of the RESTful APIs that we have in the world right now are JSON type of thing because they return in JSON and they accept in JSON, but you can also have like JavaScript, HTML, XML. So I'm changing this name to my name, not my name, but my alternative name. So give me a joke. Like, what can be a good joke? Maybe copy is greater than P equal to false because I see that coffee is much better than tea. So if it's returning false, then it's a joke according to me. Ashish, right? Is the source for this. For example, so I'm hitting on send. Let's see what output we will get this time. No? What happened? We got some error. Give me a minute. There is something wrong here. Sure. Okay, I don't know. We got some error over back then. There is something wrong with that. Made a mistake. But yeah, let's try the same thing again. So author name is Ashish, and the thing is, we want to do tea is better than coffee, which is a joke, according to me. But I know there are some tea lovers who may get offended. Sorry, 74745d.dev. So I'm just hitting on send, and yeah, this is the ID that has been assigned to our job. So let's see, like, uh, if this is working, like, we can see this in the get data. So I'm going to mention the ID here and click on send. So it is returning the same job to us that we have entered back then. That's cool, but there is someone who got offended. Are there any tea lovers in the chat? Any tea lovers? By the way, I hope like you folks can add some jokes here. Please make some jokes. English or Spanish. Oh my God. This is the joke that we have added over here. Please add some more jokes. I want to laugh. Most programmers spend the first 5 years of their career national complexity and the rest of their lives learning simplicity through foods. Hmm. I guess like you folks, can you folks cook better jokes? Make some jokes, yeah. Okay, I will be checking that. In the meantime, let me Google programmer humor. Google can understand my spellings. Okay, now just let me use it, please. So yeah, I'm going to post and then entering the job. And this is the source for us. Hmm. So yeah, I'm clicking on send, and this is our joke ID. Let's see if you folks came up with new jokes or that's it. And this is the joke that we have added right now, and we can click this. So yeah, but I might have offended few people by saying tea is better than coffee as a joke. So I just want to apologize to them by making something like a patch, like a modified version of the joke, where I will be saying coffee and tea as a joke, right? So that these people won't get offended and I will be safe from them. So what I want to do is I want to make a new request, and what is the type of request that we want to do? So whenever you want to update something, there are two types of requests. One is put, another is patch. But the difference, like the main difference between this thing is put changes the whole data, whereas patch only changes the specific part of the body where we want to update. And this depends upon the API developer and what kind of format they are using. So right now the API we are using is using like put kind of thing to update. But let's see. And by the way, you can save your request by clicking Control S. I'm going to save this for future reference. Yeah. So we are now going to request put, but we don't know like what like how we want to do it. So I'm going to refer to documentation again. And here it is saying that put can be done like this. We need to mention the joke details. I'm going to copy the same 13111 is the data. Cool. Oh, well, this is not the joke that we're going to see. I just forgot the idea of the joke. Let me try to get it randomly. 13190 is the idea of our joke. Cool. So I just want to change my name because people will see me to chapels or something. For example, as a joke again, the new joke is coffee is better than tea, and the source is YouTube, for example. And I just want to update this joke. So when we are sending this request before the updation, we are getting the output as this. But we want to make it good. So I'm going to save this request and then hit on send. So we didn't get any response from it, but it is saying that 204, which is like, okay, the thing has been done, the operation which you requested. So let's check. So this is the state of the UI before we updated it. Here, the tea is greater than coffee. Now, when we refresh this, we have coffee is greater than tea, which means it updated. And also, let's see the API part. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments, by the way. So yeah, the joke has been changed. Okay, now I have been saved by like this section of people, but coffee lover is going to hate me now, even though I belong to them. So what can be done now? I don't want to offend these people, and I don't want to offend these people as well. So I just want to stay silent and pretend that this stuff never happened. So what will you do if it's a real life situation? How will you escape? Like you have an offending page in your notebook and you just want to you don't want anyone to remember the page. So what will you do in that situation? Can I expect some comments? I think you folks are shy like me. Let's see. Okay. So if you ask me, what I will do is simply tear the like throw the paper and like, throw it away so that no one will be able to find it. The same way I want to delete that joke that I made that coffee is better than tea or tea is better than coffee. So I'm going to add a new request. Add there is add request here. Add request. We found it. So what's the thing that we are going to do now? Delete. But the URL is going to remain same. But we don't know how to use this. So again, we need to refer the documentation and see what is saying. Hmm. So it is saying you don't need to use anything. Brackets are not kept in the part, and then simply hit enter like the ID. That's it. So what is the idea of our joke? 13190. Before hitting send, I'm going to check it. Like, this is the joke that we have made about coffee and tea, and that joke is still present for in the server. And I'm going to check it the UI as well that coffee is there. Where do penguins go to port? They're not ports. Yes, penguin is the symbol for Linux. I mean, like, yeah, true. They go to North Pole to vote, but also South Pole as well, maybe. So yeah, let's try with deleting the request, like deleting the job we have made. We are following documentation. Let's click set. Okay, job with ID number 131 and 0 is deleted. So we want to check. So this is the request or response that we got before. Now I'm going to send it again. Click on send, and we can't see any joke over there. Why we can't find jokes? Because we deleted it just now. And I'm going to refresh the screen again. So yeah, I can't see the joke that we have made about coffee or tea. I'm safe from both sides now. I can drink coffee or tea that I want to without making any statements in the Reddit community or Discord. So no one will get offended. So yeah, this is the four types of requests that we discussed today, and there are other options as well, which we will not go into right now. But maybe like if you see that we have a lot more options here, we can discuss them. Let's try covering some of them. So, okay, what is the main flaw that is there in the API server that we are using it now? Think and let me know in the chat. In the meantime, I will get some water. Cool. So the main problem that we have here is that we are not implementing any authorization or authentication process. Like anyone who wants to see the job can literally delete the job on their own if they know the ID. And we don't have the let's see like accessibility or kind of system where we can delete only when we are the authors or when we have the permissions for deleting that. So which is a big issue when you go to production environment, right? So that can be discussed later, like not today, but if you folks want me to take a session on that, I can take a session on that in the future. Let me know if you folks are interested. So these are the types of authentication that we can do. Like know what basic authentication is like you give a username and password, bearer token is like a string of token, API key is also a method which we use for OpenAI, for example. What is like the advanced and most like one of the greatest type of authorization that systems are using nowadays. So header is like internal data that we are sending along with the request. In body is like the data you want to do. And in Postman we have this scripts and testing. So what are scripts? So scripts are something, some actions that can be performed before sending or after sending the request, so that we can make better visualization or better like better use case of your request. And also you have testing scripts, and these are the settings that you can do. Not only this, but for example, you are in coding, like okay, this is all good that you are testing, but you want to do the same thing in code, and you are a JavaScript developer or Python developer. So in Postman we have this option called like, well, where's the mouse? Okay. So code, where on clicking on that, you get code snippets for all the languages that are possible, like that are in this list. So for example, if you want to use command line, then this is the request that you can make. But I'm not a shell user, but I'm a Python developer. So I want to make a HTTP use HTTP client method of Python and make the same thing. So it gives us the code. If you implement this, the application which you are using will do the same thing, like connection, send connection request and all that stuff. And for example, if you are JavaScript developer, there is JavaScript, maybe jQuery, and this is the script for. You can simply get that, and you can see documentation of specific thing, comment on it, and request like what are the similar requests that can be done. And you can create environments here. So collection is like a group of workspace is like a workspace where you have a lot of collections, and in collections you can have these things. So you can group them so that it will be easier for you, and create environments so that you can have environment path or something. And of course you can see the history of what you made, and you can import requests that you want to. And yeah, cookies, like cookies are something browsers uses to identify a user. Okay, we have a dot from Venkata Sugunaditya. So what exactly Python HTTP client is doing, right? So let me go over the code. I will show you the code right away. So what we want to do is like we want to use Python and implement, like we want to make our Python application make a API request for something, because we want to get some data in our application to use it, or maybe simple use case to print the data. We don't want to use Postman, and we want to use a Python application in real life. So here what the code is doing is like importing HTTP dot client, which is like a Python version of getting giving access to internet, and JSON is like to Java convert it into JavaScript object notation or dictionary. And we are making a variable name connection where we want to connect to this application and the payload. Like we want to send some data to the server. Like it is a post request, right? In post request, you are sending a payload to the server to add the data. And what is the data that we are having? We are sending the author, job, and source of it. And headers. Like what kind of application are we, like what kind of user are we? So the content type which we are asking is for application JSON format. And now we want to mention like make a request from the connection variable we implemented here. So connection dot like con variable dot request, what kind of method you want to do, post, and slash joke, like we use a double slash to as a escape character, and then we are sending the body as payload and headers. After that, the connection will get a response, and it will be stored in result or rest here. And if you want to print the data, you can print the data dot decode it into UTF-8 format. So this is exactly what the Python implementation of using HTTP client is doing. It's basically mocking the same process that we did in Postman, but in a code, like using code. So maybe you have a use case of building an app where you want to use Spotify details. Like, okay, you made an application where it says user data like Spotify from Spotify, and you want to make a request. So once you get the testing tested here, you can make use of this code to easily implement the functionality in the application that you are developing. So yeah, this is what we are doing here. I hope you understood. Let me know if you have any other doubts, Sunaditya. So we have headers, we have test results. Like we do not define test, but which is advanced topic that we will discuss later on if you want. And we are getting like what kind of like response that the server is giving, getting back to us, which is like for not found in this case, and in this case it is 201 created, and it's also giving us how much time totally to get the response once we initialize the request. Welcome, Aditya. So here we have like it's totally taking 2.4 seconds. okay, what is the response time 2.39, and we can see the breakdown of it. So first, it's initializing a WebSocket, which is taking like lot less than a millisecond, and then it's looking for where the server is hosted. DNS lookup is like where the domain name server, like how it is, what this domain is connected to which URL, like not URL but IP address, and then it's performing an TCP handshake, like it's a transfer protocol where we communicate data, and then SSL is for high level security, and it's making the request. This is the most like, why we are doing, and we are waiting for the application or the server to give the response when it is computing the data. Now it's computing something and giving the job details to us, and then we are getting the data from the server via download. And all this took 2.4 seconds, which we can clearly see. And this is the memory that it is occupying like for the response and request. And we can save the response, like for example, so if you save the response, it will be saved under the request as a example. So you can make use of it later for reference. You can use cookies as I already mentioned, and like there are a lot more features you can do, or continuous integration and continuous development things that you can do with this. Like literally a lot more things that are related to APIs. I think now let's get back to the slides. Let me know like if you have any doubts. I will wait for like 1 or 2 minutes so that you can experiment or give me some questions, or let me know like if we can go ahead with the session like to the next step. I'm so sorry that I source and ID tags or where in headers. Can you be more specific, or maybe you can send me the screenshot. For example, if you want my ID, like let me drop my ID. Oh, body of the code. Okay. Okay. So the source and ID tag are here, right? So we are requesting like the API service which we are making use of is having like four details. Like one is ID of the joke, one is author who wrote the joke, and the joke of course, and where we are requesting the joke from. So that we made a UI, right? So we can access the links like this. So for that, it needs to store some data, and source is one such data that it is using. This is not different kind of source, but source as in a variable for the joke request we are like joke that we are creating. Like it's optional kind of thing. Like, you don't need to worry about that. This is not the source that where we are implementing some kind of automation, but this is source that where this joke has been inspired from. Got it? Cool. I think no more doubts. Okay, let's go to the next step. I will just stop sharing my screen. Remove this. Get back to slides. I will bring this StreamYard window here. Yeah, I hope you followed along with me. If you have any doubts, you can always drop like a message to me. Like where you can find me, right? Let me drop my. So yeah, my ID is same everywhere. You can drop a message over there. I am 45145B, or this is my website. Uh, hmm. So yeah, you can also visit this recording later on. So let's see what are the things that we like learn today. So one is like address. What is an address? So an address is a place where you are like requesting some data. For example, in our thing, like the thing that we experimented, API 101.up.railway.app is the address that we are requesting. Like where are we requesting from? Method. Method is like get, post, pull, like not pull, but put and delete requests. Like CRUD operations. What are CRUD operations? Create, read, update, delete. Create is for creating post request, or read means get request, you update is put or patch type of request, delete is delete request. CRUD operations basically those are the methods. Parameters. So we discussed two types of parameters. One of them is part variable and another is push query variable. What is a part variable? So if you remember, we tested colon ID for asking specific job. That is a part variable. Whereas quite like special kind of query variable is like when we are requesting for some data from Google, we are mentioning question mark q equal to SNIST, for example. That is a query parameter, body data. So if you followed along the session, you might have updated a job in the application that we have seen. So we got some jobs, right? So for the jobs, you have added the text data in the body. So it is the body, and not only in requesting, but you can also get a body response in the output that you are seeing. So response codes, you if you remember, we have seen like response codes like 200, 201, 404, which stands for different things like 200 OK, 201 created, 404 resource not found. Yeah. So if you folks want to learn more about APIs on your own or something there or from the internet, then we have like very good resource for you from Postman side. APN Pro, like it has been created from Postman team, and like lot of employees, like employers also look for like whenever they have a role of API developer or API tester, it adds some value when you have a Postman student expert certification. Not only this, but once you complete the course that Postman is providing, you also get a badge which you can showcase from Badger website, and also exclusive meetups. And like I become a Postman student leader, right? So you can also become Postman student leader and educate more about APS to other people. But the prerequisite is completing Postman student expert course and help your community that is maybe it can be your local community or online community. So yeah, you can get the Postman student expert course from here. I will share you that link. By clicking on this, you can complete this course. Like we have like very short course, like where you can learn more about APIs in a better way. Yeah, I would highly suggest you folks to enter into this. Don't forget to. You can also scan this QR code for later on. Yeah. So moving ahead, we have like swag giveaway in this session. So you can win some amazing tools swags from Postman team. So, but there is a challenge here. First of all, you folks need to submit feedback to be eligible for this. Not only this, but I want you folks to complete this course and submit this as challenge so that you can gain 4 points from this challenge by completing this. It will also not only develop your skill, but it can also we can see like who are completing and who are actively participating. So we can, like, if you remember local hack week, we told you that we are having point system and we are giving away swags. So the stats which we are giving away are based upon points and projects that you folks come up with. So we have few prizes for those who gain a lot of points during this week. The top leaderboard will get some amazing prizes, and we also have prizes for the people who made better projects in this week. Like if you folks have any project that you want to build, do build it in this week so that of course you will be eligible for the prize. Not only this, but you also have some learning curve in this week. So yeah, you can submit feedback, post, blogs, and also the projects here and the challenge. So let me break down the point system for you. The point system is like if you submit a feedback for sessions that you have attended, you will not only get marked as that you attended the session, but you get 1 point. And if you make social media posts like Twitter or LinkedIn, then you can get like 2 points. And for blog, like you made a blog upon what you learned during this week or during this session, you get 3 points. And if you build like some amazing project, you are eligible to get 5 points for it. And there is small challenge in between. Like if you can complete the Postman student expert course by the end of local hack week and submit it as a that you finish it, you can get 4 points for that as well. So we are distributing flags for those who submit the points, like have more points, and also few prizes for those who come up with projects. The best projects make you the good chance to win. And yeah, when you are building some projects, it's absolutely must for you to like use some sort of API. You don't exactly need to build an API. If you build an API, it would be good, but you can simply use existing APIs, or you can integrate with OpenAI API, Cat API, Dog API, or anything that you can come across. So this is the link for it, the feedback form, and also you can scan the QR code. Let me drop the URL as well. Please try to submit the feedback as soon as possible so that you get the points as soon as possible again. And we will be removing this session soon. So yeah, I told you about the point system that we are having, how you can win swags, and like the point breakdown. Everything is covered, I guess. Let me know like if you have any doubts. Yeah, if not, let's go ahead. Yeah. So if you are making some Twitter post or LinkedIn post or making a blog, use this group uh, hashtags Postman student and LHW as 24. Yeah. If you want to learn more about Postman or APIs, you can visit learning.postman.com, and about API network, explore.postman.com. And there's a huge community for you folks waiting to help you folks get onboarded with APIs. You can visit it at community.postman.com. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions, or else this is the end of it. We'll be back in for like 1 or 2 minutes. So you can drop your questions if you have. It can be regarding APIs, Postman, or the course that I have suggested, or can also be about the points. Cool. So yeah, I think we can end this session. I will be ending this session. But before that, I just want to remind you that we have one more session, DSA and resume building at 7 p.m. today, IST, Indian Standard Time. Please don't forget to attend it, sharing the details. And I think we have got it down from Sunadika. What does Sportsman Student Expert Program actually offer? So Student Expert Program helps you to learn more about Postman and APIs and how they work. So you can do a deep dive into it and understand how APIs work. and how to use Postman. Along with this, you are also eligible for becoming a Postman student leader by completing Postman student expert course. So like Postman student leader is someone like me who represents Postman in events where we go and teach them about Postman and APIs. You can also request for support. Like for example, I am giving away some specs according to the challenge. And you can also be someone who makes your community better by making them active. So yeah, this is also like like this is how you can become a Postman student leader by completing the course, and it helps you to moreover it helps you to gain the understanding of how what is API and all. So yeah, that is it. Do you have any other questions? So yeah, this is like Postman student expert points. It's a training from Postman team. You get a badge for completing the course, which you can showcase, and you get access to special Postman conferences that happen all over the world, all over the year. And yeah, you can also become like you can get a role in this sport and become a Postman student leader as well. Yeah, and cool. I hope you folks enjoyed. I would love to see the amazing projects or blogs that you can come up with. Please do share about local hack week and this session with your friend group. Yeah, that's it, folks. Bye bye.